Yeah, we're looking at it, Rob.
Yeah, it's a mess, isn't it?
Looks better.
Oh, it done.
You're also holding it up on the outside when we finish.
I'll sit here because I can. Yeah. That's all.
Right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming. I'd like to wish you all a happy new year and hope everything goes all right for you. I hope everything goes all right for everybody. So we've now got 10 minutes for public participation. It's over you, members of the public. Rose?
Have you any idea when swimming pools will be available and how much?
Prices are out and the official opening is the 28th of January.
Aren't you having an opening? Is that for an opening?
No, that's when it hands over to us, and that's when it will be open for the public. It's open 10 till 6 on the 28th. Ross?
Right, Carl, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, Ross.
Cheers. I'd just like you to clarify, I don't want no details because it's data protection, that Clowne Council's made a substantial payment to a staff member. Can you just clarify that all the grievance procedures were carried out and that they were fulfilled by the council?
A member of staff has left the council's employment. The terms of that are confidential and will remain confidential.
Right.
And that's all I can say on it, I'm afraid.
Could you not confirm that you've gone through proper grievance procedures regarding it?
All I can say
No?
is a member of staff has left
Okay.
the employment of the council and everything is confidential and has to remain confidential.
Is there any more grievance procedures going through?
I'm not aware of any at the moment. Okay, anybody else? Yes, Mr. Benson.
Paid office member of staff, is that not to use a term that's often used by the council? Is it not setting a precedent for future staff to go to that they're going to receive decent payout?
All I can say is that a member of staff has left the employment of the council. The terms are confidential and will remain confidential.
Don't you think that makes us all a bit suspicious of what's happening? It's our money.
Unfortunately, it's not yours, it's the council's money. And
Hey,
council
it's not
policy-
Thank you. No, that's an arrogant attitude.
The attitude.
It's our
I
money.
think-
We're for Clowne people, you want that money, would you?
No, the money is raised by a parish council to use
From us, from all of them.
by a parish council.
Yeah,
The
for
only way in
villages.
which it is your money is the fact that you elect us to exercise these authority.
Not to do what you wish.
Anybody who leaves the council under whatever way, resignation or illness or whatever, is dealt with along the lines of the regulations and everything else, and it's worked out by representatives for the person and representatives for the council, and there are a series of things that you do in each case which are gone along. And so it isn't precedential in the way that one doing something will affect another, because they're all done by the regulations that are set down. So it doesn't form a precedent for anything else.
Yes, sir.
Can I ask, Mr. Chairman, is the parish council and also other residents of Clowne aware of the work that the group of Clowne volunteers do on a Monday morning in clearing the railway line? I include myself, although I don't do it that regularly, but we've been clearing it now for some year or so since it was purchased by the county council, I believe. Skips full of rubbish have been cleared, full and disposed of. But anybody who's interested in coming along on a Monday morning, I'm sure would be very welcome. Despite clearing it every week, it's amazing how much turns up again the following Monday. Most of it thrown over the railway bridges by whomever.
Might I just
Yeah,
say, the Clowne Community Association and groups attached to them have been doing that sort
Yeah,
of work
yeah.
for many,
I
many
know
years.
part of
Yeah.
them do come along.
To answer your comment, yes, we are aware of the group. It's done through the county council and Granville Cresswell, and they're doing a sterling job. I'd like to ask Anna if she's got a comment.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I'm aware of it, and I'm very grateful to everybody who's taken an interest in that line. I've got something to say when we get into the meeting itself, and I give my update. But just to say, yeah, Marion Farrell sends me regular emails telling me what's gone on, and it's great that people are interested in taking that effort.
Okay.
Yes, over the last 13 years, parishioners have been able to become involved with the parish council, meetings, and ask questions of parish, district and county councillors and the police when they've been here at the appropriate time in the meeting. About 18 months ago, the parish council started to put up barriers, and have continued this practice until last month. The reports to council were removed from public domain, and it now appears in full council, thus preventing us from asking questions of county council people and police when they come. Why?
There are other...
Let me finish. What's going to be next? You know, and please don't tell me that because we have voted you in, you have a mandate to do as you like. This is a democracy. You know, we should be, and you should be interacting with parishioners and doing that instead of alienating us all the time. Why are you doing it? And what's going to be next?
I believe that we do interact. We have.
No, you don't. You tell us.
Hang on. Yeah, let's have the due respect, okay? We have public participation before the council meeting. That is the chance for the public to ask questions of the parish.
No,
This
we're
is
not
a
allowed to
parish-
ask questions.
This is not questions.
Past
it's
comments.
Yeah, okay. Past comments, if I'm corrected, of the parish. Reports by other bodies are to the parish council. They're not to the general public. And that's the reason why, okay? You have opportunities to meet with the county councillor or the police at other venues. This is a parish council.
Why is it
meeting,
taking
and
you
we're
13
asking-
years to decide that?
Jumping in again, and
Yeah.
you're not letting him finish.
Let him finish.
You asked for it.
And the council, yeah, I think that's right. I think to make sure that the council's running efficiently, with the, and I'll say the abuse that this council's taken over the last 18 months, we've taken the decision that we will follow the strict rules and lines that we've done, and that's what we will do.
They're not strict rules. Every other council in the area allows these things.
Not true, I'm afraid, not true.
Oh yes it is. You look at the minutes of the meetings that are online.
That's what we'll do.
These are not even minutes of what we say.
No, we don't, because it's outside council, and that's always been the case. Ross?
Should be minutes.
Could you move Anne's report back to where it was?
No, it's a report to council.
I can't see it out why the reason you've done it, that's all. It's set to annoy people, which it is doing.
Yes.
That happens elsewhere. If Anne wants to meet with you elsewhere, she can do. That's Anne's choice. But this is a report to council.
It's petty.
Thank you. Alan? So I've got Alan first, and I've got you.
I've been a parish councillor for 8 years, but I've been coming for 12 years. And the general public have always been able to ask the elected county councillor questions. And I, as a parish councillor, haven't took part in stopping them, because I'll give you one example. No, let me finish, please. At the last parish council meeting, the public was allowed to speak to Anne. One person, i.e. Ross Walker, reported something that was dangerous on the linear park, where the ramp is. It has since been put right. Now, if Ross hadn't met with Anne or been able to tell her on the night the problem, could somebody have got hurt? The point is, I want to make it known that I would like the people, the parishioners that come to this meeting, to be able to talk to Anne. Because if we're going to stop that happening, when are we going to stop the general public coming full stop?
So councillor,
Yes.
Eric? That was...
I, in some respects, have similar views to Councillor Bailey. Anne is going to be fighting a general election in 3 months' time. This is an opportunity for her to interact with people she wants to vote for her. I think as a parish council, we could give her a few moments to answer questions which may well help her, and we should be doing this, help her in her election. Because if there's one person who's kept the Sheffielders at bay, it's that lady there. We owe her a debt of gratitude. Whether she can keep them at bay is another matter. We owe her, the people of North East Derbyshire, a massive great debt of gratitude, and the people who've worked with her. And a few minutes of people asking her questions, I don't think will do any harm.
Eric, and then that's 10 minutes. You couldn't tell it?
I've got an I'll see to Anne.
Because I am in the room.
Yes.
Everybody's
Yeah.
I think we're getting into a mess about something we don't need to be honest. I've always come to this meeting as often as I can and interacted and answered questions, and And I'm not, you know, it's your right to set your own agenda, and I'm not disputing that. So if you want to stick to the change you've made to the agenda, that's your prerogative. But I will find some other way, whether it means me coming earlier than 6:30 and having 10-15 minutes with the public. I don't mind, but we need to find some way of moving on from where we are. I mean, just in relation to, and thank you, Eric, for your kind words, that's one of the things I want to report, but it would be nice to be able to have a discussion about it. Anyway, the issue that Alan raised about the fencing on that, and the drop, on the branch line,
Yeah.
Ross did raise it, and it was, you know, I'm grateful to him, but that was in hand anyway, it would have been done anyway, but it's always helpful to just hear these things. There were other things raised last month at the parish council meeting that were all, some of them I didn't know about, and they will get exactly. So, you know, let's just find a way to manage the situation that we've got. And
Was the decision to move it taken by full council or by one person?
The chair sets the agenda. Okay? Right, that's it. 10 minutes are over. Thank you.
I don't think you were asked, were you?
That's the agenda with the clerk.
You want to clerk it?
Not yet. Also, the point I would have raised, if it hadn't been at the time, this isn't a classic Carol getting into it. She's forward, she's CEO, and everything else. Like there's lots of things going through parish council, direct. I mean, a lot of it says parish council matters. Well, that's the business.
I understand what you're saying. Totally.
I mean, it's getting people's backs up if they don't understand that there are lots of other venues to get hold of. I don't wait for parish council to get hold of that.
Always find more places.
But that's what's wrong, because we can't register so therefore what we've ended up doing is we've passed the things on, whereas we have some councillors who wait until this time of the month to raise them, and they waited 2 or 3 weeks. Now the more sensible it's the fact that you can ring them or you can ring them.
That's actually a question like that.
That's not how it happens, because everybody phones me or emails me about that. Because that's how it is. That's what those councils available. That's the way of it. All I have to do is Google me, you've got my number. Well, no, it's all councils like all districts.
Okay, can we start?
Yeah, but
Can I remind members of the public that this is council meeting, and can take no further parts. Thank you very much. Can we go to the agenda item 1? Can we confirm that the attendance book and declaration of interest register has been signed? Thank you. Can we take apologies for absence? not in a minute.
Yeah.
Agenda item 3, reports to council. There are no police liaison officer present, so it's over to Councillor Weston, County Councillor.
Right, thank you. 3 things tonight. One is about the Clowne branch line, the planning application that's been submitted. I don't know if it's on your agenda. Okay. Right, well, there's a planning application currently in for the branch line as it runs from Presswell through to Markham Vale Seymour near Woodlaw, showing some new access points to it. So as well as the existing ones, there's intention to put some ramps in at various points so people can get on and off it. There's one at the bottom of Neal Street, for instance, as well as the new one that we've put in to replace the Mitchell Street Bridge. And all that's to be welcomed. The big glaring deficit with it, though, I think, is that there isn't one near Heritage School. That's to do with the lie of the land there. The line's in a very deep cutting at that point, so to put a ramp in there would be expensive, and there isn't budget for it at the moment. So I'm trying to find some other sources of funding so that we can. There might be some potential money from Derbyshire Sport, but I'm not sure about it. If we want to encourage children of that age to walk and cycle, you know, because it would be great, wouldn't it? If you could get on your bike in Presswell or the other end of Clowne and come on a safe route, so you're not cycling on the road. So we'll see if I can find some other source of funding. Or the other alternative is to have an access point down at the bottom of Blackburn Court, West Lee, where the railway line is at level again. As long as that was safe then to get back up and across Spooton Lane. So I'm aware of it and I'm trying to do something about that. But in terms of everything else, I think it's pretty much as you would want. There's funding applications in, I can't remember now where we said we were getting some funding coming from one of the national funding bodies, I can't quite remember who it is, and their stipulation, I think it might be Natural England or somebody, their stipulation is about habitats, bird habitats, wildlife habitats and so on. So there's a lot of that sort of detail on the plans as well. So that'll be going through shortly, hopefully. But if Mr. Hewitt's just said that these groups have submitted some responses to it, so anything that people, whether it's individuals or the council, want to put in, I would welcome that.
Sorry, Anne,
Yeah.
I don't mind being called Mr. Hewitt, but the surname's Hill.
No.
Oh, sorry, beg your pardon. Sorry, beg your pardon. Sorry, you looked at me.
Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is the thing that Eric referred to. So in the middle of December, we did get the outcome from the judge of the legal action we've taken against Sheffield City Region about Chesterfield's Chesterfield Borough Council's wish to join the Sheffield City Region, and the consultation that had taken place. The legal challenge was about the consultation not being adequate and not asking people the right questions. So people in Chesterfield and the wider area had never been asked the direct question, who do you think Chesterfield should be part of, Sheffield City Region? They'd been asked any number of other questions that led you to say, yes, you know, do you think that decisions should be made at a more local level? Well, you know, most people say yes to that. And then Sheffield City Region were taking that as agreement from the population of Chesterfield to go ahead with it. So we challenged that, and the judge found in our favour, which I think was a very positive result. He also granted us most of our legal costs back as well, so I was mighty relieved about that. So what happens next is that the ball is back in their court, and if they want to pursue this idea, they are going to have to ask the population whether they think it's a good idea or not. And certainly from the contact I have from people who live in Chesterfield is that they don't want that. We did a survey on the county council wasn't scientific, it was just an open survey, but 92% of the several thousand people who responded to it said, no, we don't want to be part of Sheffield City Region, and we don't believe that the money that they say they've got from government is going to come our way even if we do join. So there's a strength of feeling in Chesterfield about it, and I raise it here because it could also, will also have a knock-on effect on Bolsover and North East Derbyshire, because even though Bolsover District Council took a decision not to become a full member of Sheffield City Region, Sheffield City Region still persists in treating Bolsover as if they are. And in all their literature, in any map you see of the City Region, it's got Bolsover and North East and Derbyshire Dales in there. If you believe Sheffield City Region, as far south as Ashbourne belongs to Sheffield these days. So, you know, I think it was a good decision by the judge, obviously, I think that. And it remains to be seen. Now, I'm told that there's a lot of active discussion now about a bigger Yorkshire devolution deal. So it's not just South Yorkshire, West Yorkshire and North Yorkshire as well joining up. And if that happens, that takes the focus away from Derbyshire being dragged into it, because, you know, we're doing all right on our own, thank you very much. So that's where that is. But like I say, the ball's in their court. We wait to see what they do next. And then the third thing is, just as I was driving here, I heard on the news, national news this was, that Tesco's are shutting distribution centres, and they named it as Chesterfield, but I'm assuming that means Barber Links. So I don't know if anybody else heard that.
No, I think it was a national thing.
It was, well, I heard it on Radio 2, it was driving up, and it said, it mentioned somewhere, and then it said Chesterfield, so I'm assuming that means...
I heard it was just a national
That's
thing.
been threatened before.
Anybody got any questions to add?
As you know, Anne, for years I've been asking you about the safety of the junction or the crossing between Nickenwood Lane, Station Road, as pedestrians getting across. Recently there was a very serious accident. Getting out of the junction at the bottom of Nickenwood Lane is virtually impossible because of traffic that way. Getting out of the junction on the other side, in my opinion, the wall obstructs the view of the traffic coming down. Is Derbyshire County Council going to look at the reports from the police and whatnot? Because it wasn't a fatal accident, but it weren't very far off, and these pedestrians are having difficulty getting across. I have a son who is partially sighted, and he's told me he struggles to get across that road. It's an accident waiting to happen. The accident's happened. So will Derbyshire County Council now look at that junction in more detail?
Yes, Alan, they will. I mean, any accident that involves, certainly if it involves injury to people, we get the report from the police and then we do pick it up. I've not had any detailed discussion about it yet, so I can't tell you what may or may not be done about it. I mean, I think it's quite difficult because, as you know, it's in the hollow, and the road isn't particularly wide either, so I don't think there's necessarily the width that you might need for a mini roundabout, for instance, or anything like that. And I think it's quite difficult in terms of sight lines for putting any sort of pelican crossing or anything like that either, because you're on it. But you know, I take the point. It is. I mean, I think there's issues about the whole length of Cresswell Road and how difficult it is to get across. And I've got one or two ideas, but you know, whether we can meet everybody's needs, I don't know. But I will pick that up.
Thank you.
I've got Eric.
I would now, as you said, batted away Sheffield City Region for a while. Where do we stand with our own D2N2? Is that a dead duck?
Right. So last year at the end of 2015, we got all the 19 councils across Derbyshire and Nottinghamshire in a place where they were agreeing to a devolution deal. The government stopped it, and literally a week before we were due to sign the agreement, they stopped it because they were worried about bear in mind they've only got a small majority in Parliament, and they were worried about some local MPs, Conservative MPs in south of Derbyshire and parts of Nottinghamshire, weren't happy about it for whatever reason, and they were threatening to derail some legislation that was going through. So it got stopped by the government for political reasons, and we told them at the time, you either sign this here and now, or people will drift away, and that is what happened. So by the time we got to March of last year, some of those councils had said, oh, we're not bothered anymore, let's forget it, not serious about it. We are still working together though. Those councils across the 2 counties and the 2 cities are working together. We've got a meeting coming up early February where we're looking at what we can do better together, because there are some things we need to work on jointly, and we get a bigger scale if we do work jointly. Whether that amounts to a devolution deal or not, I don't know, because obviously there's been a change of Prime Minister, a change of Chancellor, and they don't seem to be pushing this as much as George Osborne was. So I don't know if this government's really that bothered about devolution anymore. I don't know.
So that leaves us in a mess with the buses.
Not necessarily, because I think if they don't push devolution, they're going to have to do something else. And the big, if there is a big idea from this government, the big idea is something they're calling the industrial strategy, and that's about increasing productivity in Britain. There are some parts of our economy that are not very productive. So there will be funding available for things such as better transport links, because if you've got better transport, you can increase your productivity that way. So I think there's more than one way to solve a problem. And if we can't do it through devolution, we'll find other ways of doing it. So I'm not giving up. Well, you know me, with buses, I've got, you tell me every time I see about buses, so I'm not giving up. We've just got to find a different way to do it.
Yeah, it goes back to that junction on Preswell Road. I've stopped using that junction because I find if I come down Ickingwood Lane, I've got to go into the middle of the road before you can see up the hill, because the cars park down Preswell Road, right to the Morris's button shop. I know I think there's a little bit of a white line there, but a lot of them, terraced houses there, haven't got off-road parking, or they've built on the land round back of the house. And that's the danger with that. It's then you go screaming coming down from Old Bus Garage. And they're irate then, because you're blocking road off for them to go up there. And he wants a serious look at that. Whether you put lights on it, or whatever, I don't know.
Can I just say, from the Bolton Council's local plan, if the local plan is agreed by the Secretary, Secretary of the State, and we get the Garden Village plan, which is the large development in Clowne North, that road would be addressed, because they're putting a roundabout a bit further up, coming off the new estate or off the new roadway. The problem we've got is infrastructure within the village, all right, with all the developments, because as we all know, a developer does not have to upgrade the main highways. They're only interested in getting in and out of where they're building. They will put some money into it, like they put the roundabouts out here. But unless you've got a major developer to do it, we're struggling because councils not going to put the money.
I was walking down there from the Christopher down and trying to cross to Station Road, and I was frightened. I just couldn't. I didn't know what to do. Because by the time I looked round the corner to see what was coming down the road, something would come along Station Road. So if something could be done, it would frighten me. I've never got to say.
Yeah, I've got the message, and I've said I'll come back on.
Can I just reiterate that the work done on the branch line from Morrison from the council's point of view? It's a good scheme what you've done. We need to address, I don't know how we're going to address the issue of litter, particularly. I think we might need to go to the schools, talk to the schools about it. I'm not blaming the school kids for it, because I think a lot of it is adults throwing stuff over there. The amount of Tesco trolleys that they pulled out of there recently was unbelievable. But it's talking to adults and hopefully getting getting somebody convicted for basically nicking the Tesco trolleys, for to get the Tesco's to approve it. Because there is a lot of work, and I walked around there the other day, I was like, looking brilliant, but then you walk around the day after, clean-up's been done, and it's a good mess.
There is that, and I think as it opens along its full extent and people are using it more, it'll become a bit more self-policing and looking. So if people see other people throwing things about, then that will monitor itself. I mean, the other issue about that we've discussed before is about a lack of access onto Rectory Road because of the obstacles in the way.
Yes.
So if we can address that, that'll be a big help, because I get that all the time. You can get on at the Mitchell Street end, but we can't get off at the other end.
All right, that's it.
Can I say that's my report, and I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to dash off because this one now clashes with Belleville this month, because we're a week late, aren't we?
It's the second, it is the second one.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks Dan for that, thank you. Okay, can we move on then to agenda item 4, confirm the minutes of the meeting held on the 5th of December.
I'll move them.
Seconded. Seconded, all in favour? Okay. Can we confirm the extraordinary minutes of the extraordinary meeting held on the 14th of December?
I'll move them.
Okay, seconded. Colin seconded. All in favour? Thank you. All in favour? Agenda item 6, questions to council. There are 2. Please.
Dear Clark, please put the following questions be answered in detail at the Parish Council meeting. I would like to know why the Christmas fireworks event isn't going ahead. I would also like to ask the Parish Councillors how they can become more open and more approachable council. I believe this would help the council be more trusted and respected.
And that's from who?
By Terry Essex.
Anybody got anything to say?
Can you read that article again, Becky? The parish council has owned.
Would you like to ask how the parish councils could become more open and approachable?
And approachable. You got my telephone number?
Yeah, I'm going to say that it's on the website, telephone numbers, and does that gentleman know about the parishioners' surgery, or council's surgery, on a Saturday, it's this Saturday?
Well, somebody knock on my door all the day.
I think we're like Eric, we are available. We are available.
If you want to ring me up, you can
You
do.
probably don't know though. He probably doesn't realise that gentleman.
You can find the gentleman's lady.
Oh, is it?
All right. Okay. We'll write back and tell them. Okay. The other aspect of it is the fireworks. Council's decision was not to have fireworks. Are we going to do any events this year? Or last year, should I say? Okay.
Oh, sorry.
Dear sir, could you please clarify to me that on this date, December 2016, you are legally chairman of the Parish Council, and that's from Sharon Redding.
Yes, the answer is yes. I am the chair of the Parish Council, and that's me dealt with. Councillor Bailey.
I'd like to speak on this subject, please, but I disagree. I'm disagreeing that you are chairman, because I've spoke to Dalek in length, and they've explained the situation to me. They asked me if when I was elected, did I have to sign to be elected? I says yes. Apparently, the papers weren't signed last May when you was elected parish chairman.
Are you challenging me, my chairman now?
Yes.
Right. Can I tell you something? I answered this question last month.
Yeah.
Okay, quite clearly and quite in depth. The 1972 Local Government Act, all right, the chair stays in the chair until a new chair is formed. All right? It was administrative error, okay, and I did say at that time I would sign that form there. The clerk said it had to be done at the AGM, sorry, the assistant clerk said it had to be done at the AGM. It doesn't. I can sign it today. I am the chair, and And you did ask a question, if I remember rightly, about the legality of the meetings with finances, etc., etc. I can assure you, all right, that this council has acted properly in what it's done. Okay? And if you want to go further than that, if you ask Mr. Walker to look at their main recording, okay, of the main meeting, you will see that I was nominated, duly seconded, all in favour, and I accepted it. That is a verbal one, that can be accepted as well. Okay?
Well, why then, when you become a parish councillor, you have to sign, let me finish, no, let me finish, you've had your say, let me finish, please. You were selected by the parish council. You should have signed, and when DALC don't make mistakes, DALC have told me this, and they've said that you didn't sign. And when people are saying, have we got a chairman who is legally the chairman, I'm saying no, and I disagree with it, and I don't accept you as a parish chairman, full stop.
So you're saying that you know the right way about all this. I actually went to DALC to discuss the thing. I brought the documents back and everything else. I took legal advice in that situation, and the legal advice is straightforward. The other aspect to it is you are saying that DALC says there was no record of the chairman signing the document. What actually happens with all of us is we all sign the document. Carl had signed that document like we all did. The document that says I accept my election as a parish councillor. What normally happened with Denise then was that when we make the chairman and we decide who's going to be chairman of the parish council, she was in the habit of passing across another form during the meeting or catching up with it later. And that form said, I accept the post of chairman. Now, there was no form available to us. It wasn't found in the minutes or anything else. But there had been a form in all previous years. And if you're saying it's not a case of the form having been mislaid, then you would have to be saying that the clerk to the council who had carried out that process perfectly for the last 10 years, in fact didn't carry it out, because it does say, as the assistant clerk said, that you are supposed to either sign the form or stipulate a time when it will be signed. It doesn't say that it's got to be done during the meeting, it was said it's got to be stipulated.
It's never been signed.
Well, it has never been signed, you're saying. I'm saying, I went and talked to Denise. Denise feels that she carried out the procedure that she's always carried out, and I see no reason to doubt that. The fact that we couldn't find the form doesn't mean that there wasn't a form. In my view, it means that somewhere it's gone missing, and it's not a question of not being able to sign. And the regulation does say that it now says, in addition to the council chairman, that the same is true of the vice chairman, that the vice chairman will continue having been elected in her or his office until such time as another chairman is elected. I mean, that's what the 1972 Act says, and our legal advice at the time pointed that out. So, as we all went through the process, and we can remember going through the process of the nomination and seconding and agreement of the chair, that went through, and it was accepted by the chair in a few words saying, well, thanks for that one, etc., etc. And what you're talking about is that apparently the form isn't there. Right? But then you're holding your whole case on that. I wouldn't, because it's quite possible for the chair to sign it at any point, which he can do. But even if he doesn't, he still remains in the chair, because he was the chair last year, so next year.
You know, because all I'm hearing is about
all I can say is,
well,
I've always previously signed the form. Right? I can't remember his name, and Denise can't remember whether or not she did it. all right, and I can sign the form, but according to the clerk, the assistant clerk, that form has to be signed at the AGM. I disagree with that. Okay.
Well, if there's
So-
something in the rules that said it can't be done, we need to see it, don't we? If there's something in the rules
But
that,
the rules
that says
are,
something.
the 1972 Local Government Act says the chair stays the chair unless he resigns or isn't being selected. And you actually stay the chair. You know, if you lose your seat, you stay the chair of the council until such time as a new chair is elected.
Right.
Even if you lose your seat, that's the only position in council that has that authority. Is that right? Okay?
So, section
So that's
83.
I
it.
don't think any difference when he signs the form, but I would say he signs the form.
We
Which
just
is
come
fine.
tomorrow. We can find it. Sign it tomorrow. Okay? Moving on. Chair's report. I can say that we had a good Christmas. Obviously, the certain backgrounds we reported last time.
No, it wasn't.
We had a successful New Year's Eve event that I think members of the public who turned up thought it was brilliant and really enjoyed themselves, as they always do. Okay, there were a bit of glitch, but those things like these things happen. We are only human beings at the end of the day. Okay, speak for myself. Okay, all right. So that was that. No? Okay, so that's the position. I'd like to thank staff for all the work that they've done over the Christmas period.
Is that your report?
That's my report.
Yes, we want to.
Right. Can I just ask you something? In the minutes of the 14th of November, we decided that we'd meet with RegCom. RegCom,
They haven't come back to us with it.
haven't they?
No.
No.
Right, okay,
They've not come back to us.
right. I just wondered what happened.
No. This is the monies for the wind turbine.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's an allocation of money from the wind turbine, which is divided between Clowne Parish and Clowne Parish. It's only, you've got to set up a committee to ask people whether or not to do it, and they've not come back to it. I think they want to pay the money in one lump sum rather than over 25 years, if I remember rightly. Okay, that's it finished. Okay, next one then is yeah, we've had a, as everybody knows, we've had a resignation from council from Jennifer for personal reasons, and as such, notices went out, and an election has been called. The election has been called for the 16th of February. There will be a cost to it, which we'll talk in exam. Yeah, what we need is a resolution that we do the polling cards, that we have polling cards. Previously, when we didn't do polling cards, as a council, we chose not to do it. The turnout was about 1.6%. It's not the record for Bolsover District, it's the record of 1.4%. So I move with your support that we have polling cards.
Is there a cost?
There is a cost.
What? How much?
By election, that's £6,000.
That's the parish.
That's for the parish.
Is it?
Will we know postal votes then?
Postal votes will be given if there's an election, there will be a postal vote as well. Councillor Smith?
Yes, it's only fair we issue polling cards. It's democratic. Everybody in Clowne South, because that's where the election is to be held. We live in a democracy, and we should give everybody a chance to vote if they want to. So I propose that we issue polling cards.
It is. I can see your concern, Councillor Wilson. Unfortunately, democracy is not cheap.
No.
And if it's a standalone one this time, we have to pick it up. The cost of polling the card, the cost of the postal vote, postage and everything. It's massive.
You've seen with every parish council, there's 16 parish councils, if they have a by-election, you have to pick the devil. That's how it goes.
Okay, so Madam Mover.
Democracy costs money.
What's it does? It doesn't cheap. Madam Mover, yeah, okay, all in favour? Okay, thank you. Correspondence, please. There are no people who've got the names down at the side of it, but I'm aware that Councillor Buxton has written in today. We didn't. It wasn't done on purpose, rather than redo it, put your initials at the side. I agree with Becky that we just do it and accept your email. Okay. So you want A.
CDP have booked the community centre. Sorry. CDP have booked community centre on the 8th of March and they're requesting a reduction in cost.
Tell everybody who they are.
Community Voluntary Partners, it's a group that are funded through the district council. Okay.
And a reduction on extra.
They haven't asked for a specific one. They were given they were quoted a price, which is the normal price because they're having it for a full day. Well, 9 till 3. They were quoted £90, which is the hourly rate. The applicant just said.
Oh, we don't reduce it for anybody else, do we?
It's like a business, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one.
Hang on a bit. I should have a vote on
Okay.
that. So that you've
Yeah, it's been moved it down. All in favour? Anybody against? Okay.
Yeah.
Passed. Freedom of information request times 3. They were replied on the 22nd of the 12th.
Yeah, they've all been replied.
They've all been replied to. C is BDC quotation for bedding plants 2017. We've gone out to tender. It's the big ones.
Yeah.
Because it's coming in, we've asked somebody else, and unfortunately, yeah, he's not been able to do it. D, Scouts, siting of containers.
I think we're being unkind if we're putting scouts in containers.
It's progress really on the originally asked for it to be signed on
May I suggest that we have a meeting with gentlemen the Scouts and see where they want to do it and what size to do. I believe the size of the containers have changed to 40 footers, and the easiest place was to do it is to put them up the side rather than going with down.
The problem was some tracking, some things.
ridiculous amount.
Yeah.
We looked at the grass breed, which is about 75,000 quid, just to get on that side.
But we were going to go back and ask them if they could perhaps contribute towards something.
I don't think we've got
We'll have a word with Mr. Holby and see what we can do. Okay. E, P&D, vandalism to Christmas lights.
Yeah, just for information, we had a report that the Welcome to Clowne sign, some people might know that the lights weren't on, or it was partially on. It was because the cables had been cut from the frame. It was obviously rectified and the police have been informed, but that's the reason that the lights were on.
It's the first time we've had any vandalism in the village around the Christmas lights for years. At one point, I can remember when they used to have the tree, they used to make the bulbs, didn't they? Because they were low wattage bulbs. Yeah. That's why we moved to LED. Yeah. F is the Minerals Local Plan Site Consultation, that's the Derbyshire County Council. Be aware that fracking, I've used the word carefully, fracking is going to be an issue. We, as the Parish Council, have not been consulted and asked if we can go on any of our land, because it's obviously not a problem, but councils around us have been, and I know that some of them have turned it down and will not accept 250 quid to sign a machine on, but landowners have. One landowner in the area has got about 65 sites which go around the village. Okay? And if they're fracking in Worksop or Whipple, should I say, hypothetically, they come across to us. We need to be aware of fracking. If you see it, if we get anything, we'll keep you informed on that one. The invitation to farewell gathering for Reverend Short, I accepted, but unfortunately was unable to attend due to family illness. I'm conscious that the last letter is in respect to the planning application, and we have Councillor Smith and Councillor Connaughton who have signed a declaration of interest. So I suggest that they leave the room this time.
Excuse me, Carl. I know not to ask questions, but I might just ask again, and if you don't answer, that's fine. What's your view on the fracking as a council?
I think
We're not,
I think, like Gwyneth, fracking, I think what we need to do is agenda item it as an item for the next meeting, and then we can have a bit of a debate on it.
Yeah.
I personally, I'm against the idea of fracking, okay, because it's an unknown. If they could tell us, if they could reassure me that we wouldn't have any adverse effects, I would probably look at it as another alternative form of energy. But at the moment, there are too many unknowns. I sit on a fracking group at the district, and it's...
Carl, just put this information.
Yeah.
They have been on Oxcroft Estate.
Yes, we know where they've been.
Yeah, we've been asked.
Several places on Oxcroft.
They've gone to, as I've said to, when I reported the word thing, they are talking to local landowners and parishes as well. I know they've spoken to Balborough, Whitwell, Cresswell, and out as far as down as Tipshelf and that whole. So what we will do, what we will do is we'll agenda item fracking as the next item, and I'll see if I can get the county council's fracking expert across from helping talk to us. Okay, moving on to H, Clowne Parish with respect to the planning application 16005894, which is the 10C. Something that altogether, we'll do to 10C. Okay, then moving on to agenda item 10, consider planning application. Application A.
Is a two-storey side and front extension to form an attached garage and rooms in the roof at 8 Meadows View, Clowne, for Mr. and Ms. Titmus and Allen.
Does everybody know where this is? It's the one just at the church. It's not overlooking anybody. There's no objections, I think. Have there no objections? Subject to offer? Well, offer the car park.
No comment, really.
Yeah, no comment. No, that's better. Thanks, Gwen, for that one. Not used that one for a while. B.
Is a proposed single-storey extension to the side of 2 King's Close, Clowne, Mr. and Mrs. Cooling.
This is on the corner, isn't it? It's a corner on there. So I can't see the biggest one. Yeah. It's got the access.
You've got access to
garage.
it.
Yeah, so
Okay, no comment. C. This is the one that H has requested.
It's the change of use to Class A5 hot food takeaway at 41 Mill Street, Clowne, for Mr. Mansour Arjuman.
Can I, right, this one, I've inquired about this, and that's what it's going to be. They don't need to tell us, it's a planning. The planning authority do not need to know, all they know is that it's been changed from a B2 to a Class 5 food outlet. The issue we've got is, on planning, we can only object to it on planning. Bolsover, in our wisdom, or their wisdom, do not have a policy on the amount of food outlets that you have in the all right? It is something that we're looking at, we're going to have to look at as a district, but we can say we are concerned at the overabundance of food takeaways. There are 14 food outlets in about 150 yards. The plus side of that is we ain't got empty buildings. The sad side, the poor side about that is it's all food or hairdressing at the moment.
Which shop is it?
It's the shop, it's the scooter shop at the moment, the scooter shop. You know where, you know where
So, I don't know if you know, but jokingly, Clowne is known as the fast food capital of North Derbyshire. And it's also joked about we've got the biggest rats in the district because we've got the most rubbish going on the streets from them. So, read into it as you want.
Can I say that Bolsover would dispute us on that? So would Kingston, so would South Normanton, so would Shirebrook. They've all disputed on that, because if you look, and that's why I was quite clear, Bolsover have got to have a policy, and maybe we need to say to Bolsover, can they come up with a policy on the amount of food out they're allowing in the community?
Does nobody have a cooking club?
That is a good question. That is a good question. Okay. And the next one is the additional revised plans.
Yeah, it's just additional or revised plans to the 16 High Street Clowne, which is the welfare council.
Where's 16?
It's the welfare.
Is it? I thought it might be.
It's they wanting, obviously it's to demolish the welfare and the welfare house, to build, as it's been previously to council, to build a 10-bedded unit for complex care and autism and a 16-bedded unit for learning disabilities on that site. Just reaching the side. Antisocial behaviour.
Already demolishing some of the birds down there.
Okay, so no comment on that one?
Carl, can I just ask what's happening with it then, this
Could be
last one?
demolished. The potential is to demolish it.
I mean, is it going forward?
At the moment, it's what they've asked. All they've done is asked us for our comments.
Okay.
With we just refer to our previous comments. It's not up for planning at Bolsover yet, although it may be in the next one, or possibly certainly by March of the year. Yeah. The Clowne Inn is.
Has he got to reply the plan?
No, he started work on site in early September and he's left. And as far as that's concerns, it gives him, it's met the planning criteria. I'm aware that Bolsover Council are looking at the site.
What's happening there, Carl?
The gentleman's got planning application to convert the Clowne into 4 units and to build two blocks of 3-bedroom units. So it's like number two blocks of semis at the back.
Should be saying that.
No, I know I didn't. It's like, just going to ask the question. Okay. Moving on then. To consider motions as notified. There are none. Finance and council payment. To approve finance.
Myself, Carl, and Councillor Smith.
Give you a notice, return the lights out.
The Bolsover District Council tax base 2017-2018.
Yeah, it's just notification of the base rate.
So that goes into precepts. And the next one is notification of precepts. Proposed date is the 16th.
Next Monday.
Next Monday. That's 6.
What did we say someone told me at 16?
No, with the 16th to 17th we've got another meeting.
Yeah, no, it's not past 16.
So that's the precept date of the next Monday, 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
Yeah. Item 13, on Dow, circulars, valuation office agency, notice of rateable value, no change.
What?
No change.
What's in change?
The rateable values.
Send it out to everyone.
Yeah.
Some people got a change in value.
Nothing for us. Date and time of next council meeting?
It's the 6th of February and it's the afternoon one in the evening session.
So it's 2 o'clock for council, 1:45 for members of the public. So can we please be aware of that?
Some of us were.
6th of February at 2 o'clock at the community centre. Okay, at that point I'd like to thank members of the public for their attendance and we'll see you at the next meeting.